So let people join or do not join. So here comes David and Jerry. So welcome again to this session. Today's session is all about common sense approach. This master has, in the, I would say, 7 or 8 centuries ago, in 1500 perhaps, if I remember the date, year, he has written more than 20,000 pages. And especially in this text, he says common sense approach. Can I live into that state of peace and happiness, which is my nature? So, this text, the Master doesn't talk about what we need to do, what not to do, how we sit in meditation. You see that those great teachers of the kundalini in our country, they say, no, sit like this, you cannot do like this. Let me put an aroma, let me put a fragrance. I will succeed if I have a special pen for it. So here, this master doesn't talk about any external preparations. He does not even care to mention that it is mindfulness or meditation. Common sense approach. And by the common sense approach, he says, here is your real self. Real self means that permanent peace, happiness, love, and wisdom, our essential nature. This is what he talks about. It is not an approach who has a higher IQ, only those people who get it. It's a common sense approach. And he says that common sense approach that I have talked many a times, listening and learning the principles, common sense principles, and then I have to contemplate, as Stephen was saying that he contemplated the that principle of step back that we discussed on Thursdays, and it instantly removed the challenges he was facing in our personal, professional, and social life. So, Shravan, Manan, and Nididhyasan. So, simplified version is I do not know, let me know it. So, I should be aware what I don't know, that I have to know it. Common sense. And then I contemplate and reflect on what I have known, how it is true and effect in my life. I'm a human being. Fact, common sense. I'm a male, common sense. Similarly, we have to do the contemplation. So, what happens in contemplation? The intellect brings the clarity. That clarity goes into the mind. Mind stops wandering. You go into meditation and you succeed. So, in this text, we have started the journey. What exactly is this truth or the existence? But I exist in waking state. in dream state, and in sleep state. Now see his common sense approach. Especially this text is taught to the very higher level of seekers. Otherwise, people even do not know in this part of the world whether this text exists in yoga or mindfulness. They are not aware. It is known as Panchadashi. So we will understand what is this waking state. Are you awake? Uh, are you crazy? I'm listening to you, so I'm awake. So, in the few verses, he talks in detail about waking state, sleep state, and dream state. Did you ever ask a question until today that we have been living days after days, weeks after weeks, months after months, years after years in a waking state? Did we ask the question, what is this waking state? Think of this. So he is bringing a common sense awareness. So one thing should be made clear, that we are waker, we are dreamer, we are sleeper. That together makes our life. You cannot say that only the waking state is my life, sleep state is not. Huh? If I'm sleeping, it means, no, sleep is not my life. It means I do not exist. I'm gone. Common sense. Look at the common sense approach. So we have to explore what is this waker. First thing to know. Look at the mystery of our life. When I'm a waker, means I'm living in a waking state, I do not know the sleep and the dream state. And still I exist there. When I'm in deep sleep, I don't know waking state and dream state. After I wake up, then only I know I had a sound sleep. It's a common sense. It's easy to be aware of it, isn't it? You may have a doubt. No, I know that I had a sound sleep, but you don't know the sound sleep consciously. The moment you know it consciously, then you are awake. Do you see? Common sense. It means the sleep state cannot enter into waking and dream state. The dream state cannot enter into sleep and waking state. The waking state cannot enter into sleep and dream state. Clear? Conclusion is clear. Okay, then what is this waker state? Waking state now. Waking state. Now, this next question comes. I am a waker only, or sleeper only, or dreamer only, or we are three in one. What is your answer? We are three in one. We are all three. The three are all totally disconnected from each other. How can you claim you are three? But that is how the master teaches. Master doesn't beat about this bush. He says, no, you believe me, and I will take you to freedom. So it is better to follow the religion. Every religion says, I will take you to heaven condition after death. Until you live, continue to suffer. There is no chance. So that is why yoga, Eastern wisdom, is totally away different from religion. So we have covered on Mondays and Thursdays that this self inquiry has to be done by the intellect. And the intellect means knowledge. Knowledge means understanding. Understanding means clarity. Clarity means I filter out what is not true. And it comes by the power of discernment. So we have already covered that. That is why. So Master simply says by using the intellect, we should have a minimum emotional and mental maturity. If we do not have a mental and emotional maturity, forget about this mindfulness and meditation. Simply closing your eyes and focus on the breath will not help us. All asthmatics, they are always paying attention on the breathing. Does not mean that every asthmatic is a meditator. They are forced to pay attention. So we go to that understanding. So waking state. Now the next question comes, am I 3 in 1 or 1 in 3? Means what? Is there something? Master is not saying what is that. We come to the conclusion. Is there something that is present and available in all the 3 states? Or we are 3 in 1, so just let us live in ignorance. I'm a waker, I'm a dreamer, and I'm a sleeper. I have been living for years and years and years. That's all. Because once I wake up from the sleep, I enter into the same world. It means there is something that is continuing in waking state, sleep state, dream state. Did you get it? Come on, Vaibhav. Once you wake up, you return again, and you are Vaibhav. You don't become Stephen, isn't it? Huh? Jerry, you don't become David. You remain Jerry. So it means there is someone that continues my life in the sleep, dream, and waking. Did you get it? Then what is this? That helps me to continue that. What is that? Every day I wake up, I remain male, I remain at a particular age, I go into the dream, I remain the same. That same is different from sleep, dream, and waking state. Conclusion? Clear? Then what is that? So here the master says that these waking, dream, and the sleep are 3 states of the mind, and that something is the real self. And the sleep, waking, and the dream states are like a different roles of the life. Stephen is a person, is a husband, is a father. So, being a father, name, wife are the different roles. So, the role of that real self is a waker, dreamer, and sleeper. That is independent, that is free, and that is made up of permanent peace and health. We'll explore. It's not the end of it. We are three in one or one in three. We are exploring and understanding that if we are three in one, then there is no further talk. We accepted it. But if we find that every day, even after the dream, sleep, that has been repeated so many days, weeks, months, years. So these three states are on the surface of my, who am I? And that I, that real I, continues every day without asking us. It lives in the waking state, it lives in the dream state, it lives in the sleep state, again waking, dream, sleep, waking, sleep, for so many years since our birth until today. Who is that? That is why I said we need a minimum mental and emotional maturity. Otherwise, we will continue our life. And then what happens in waking state? We experience pleasure and pain, sorrow and the suffering. In dream state, we replicate. In sound sleep state, we are not at all aware of any sorrow and the suffering. But we cannot, if we do not experience any sorrow and the suffering, can you ask a question then? Why shouldn't I continue to sleep for 24 hours? Even that is not possible. I may be lazy, I keep lying on the bed, but I return to the waking state. What is that mystery? What is that mystery? What is that mystery? Once we understand this, what is that something which continues in all the three states? All the three states. Then we can find what is our true nature. So first master says clearly that that is the real self, that is unchanging because it did not change even after we passed through maybe 1,000 times waking state, 1,000 times dream state, and 1,000 times sleep state. Something did not change. That is what I refer to as I am, the real I. Discovery of that real I is mindfulness. Are you getting it? Are you with me? Are we on the same page? What is that real I? So we examine again that what is the difference between the waking state and the dream state and the sleep state. You see, if you are we are on the same page, then we can go to the next step. In the waking state, body, mind, intellect, memory, ego are all active. In dream state, body is not active, mind is active. In sleep state, neither the body nor the mind is active. Are you getting? Just as a matter of common sense approach. Common sense approach. I'm aware. Yes, you are right. In waking state, I become aware of the world. In sleep state, I do not become aware of this world in which I live. And in dream state, I become aware of the virtual world. Virtual, in thoughts, in feeling, in images. In dream state, there is another body that is created, and the tiger is chasing that body, and I experience the fear. Or I dream that I have bought a mansion and I am full of pleasure. All virtual reality. All virtual reality. I married to Miss Universe. Or for girls, married to Miss Universe, Mr. Universe, etc. Virtual reality. Do you see the difference? Created by the mind, waking state, body, mind, intellect, memory. Because I retrieve that memory, the moment I wake up, I am. My name is this, my relationship with the world is this. And then you also retrieve, oh, I have been suffering for so many years, etc. But we don't retrieve anything in the deep sleep state. I still exist there. Do you see the difference? So difference is at the surface level. I'm a husband, so I have to play a role of a husband. I'm a teacher. I'm a wife, or etc. etc. All the rules outside. That is why we say these are the three mental states. Have you heard the definition of mindfulness? Transcending the mind. Now, are you clear? Transcending the three mental states, you will be in meditation. Transcending means what is behind that entity which is not sleep state, which is not waking state, which is not dream state. What a beautiful way. Common sense approach. He is not talking sit in lotus pose. I will show you the kundalini is rising up and falling down. Mantra, he doesn't talk of any. He says understand, common sense approach. The way you are living your life and explore the highest state of meditation while living day to day life. Day to day life. Your mind may say, I don't believe what you say. Don't believe it. Are you suffering? Let me ask another question. Are you in a permanent peace and happiness 24 by 7? No. You should believe and continue the journey. Otherwise, there is no mental and emotional maturity. Reminder again, What is that reminder? When I'm living in a waking state, I'm a teacher, I'm a husband, I have many rules. All these rules are gone in a sleep state. Does it not prove that we are different from the sleep and the waking state? In a waking state, we know the body, sense organs, the mind, the thoughts, feeling, emotions, the world outside, relationship. We get the knowledge by mind in a waking state. I see, you see, so I get the knowledge of many objects, people, relationship, things that I don't know in sleep state, that I know differently in a dream state, isn't it? This master says, do you have that maturity to contemplate along with the teacher, along with me? Master says. Last point for I leave you for contemplation and thinking. Pay attention. I see Vaibhav, I see Patricia, I see Stephen, Ashok, David, Jerry, Samir, and I see the monitor. I see many objects here. So every object has a single thought. Every object has a particular thought. When I see Vaibhav, so Vaibhav is in that thought, Stephen is in another thought. Are you getting it? You have to think many objects, many thoughts. Many objects, many thoughts. Clear? But behind there is only one I. I is a common. Did you get it? Are you aware of that? I know Vaibhav, I know Patricia, I know Stephen, I know Ashok, I know David, I know Jerry, I know Samir, I know myself, I know the monitor. I know at present I am a teacher after an hour gone. I is a common. Did you see? Three levels of awareness. First level of awareness, many objects in the world. Second level of awareness, many thoughts. Third level of awareness inside, when you step back, as Stephen was saying, I is common. Clear? Who is this I? Discovery of that I is meditation. Objects changes. People changes, thought changes, I do not change. That is the main point. Do you see that? Here and now. I, 5 years old. I, 10 years old. They change. I, 20 years old. Why should I tell my age? 50 years old. I remains there. Are you seeing that? So thought is 10 years old, 20, 30, 40, 50. Are you getting it? There are millions of objects in the world, so the millions of thoughts in the world. But, Stephen, that I inside remains as it is. I am old. you are referring to the body, and that is becoming very clear. In sleep state, you are not aware of the body, you cannot be body. Finished. Do you see? Do you see how the master puts the reasoning to make the things clear? We are removing the wrong notion. Once you remove these wrong notions, what is left is the I. 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 Are you getting it? So in a waking state, his mind becomes aware of millions of objects, people, events, things. So I have millions of thoughts. Thoughts keep changing, objects keep changing. What is constant? What is constant? I. Master says that I is pure consciousness. Because of wrong notion and misunderstanding, you relate, identify this I with the body. So you claim I have become old, but you are not the body. You relate to the particular event outside. You say, I am stressed, but that I is not, never in stress. See, this master says, let me prove it logically before you practice meditation. Should be very clear. So this week you have to think about it. Waker, dreamer, sleeper. Am I 3 in 1 or 1 in 3? You can have a smartphone, means it is maybe 5 in 1 or 10 in 1. It is possible. For the matter, not possible. Not possible. So just I live into that awareness. Oh, I with the waking state, I with the sleep state, I with the dream state, and that I continues. It has been continuing until today, until now. Transcending the mind means also that you want to see something that is beyond waking state, dream state, sleep state. I will leave today the talk until this point. We will do the practice, think of it, and then we will go next. We will continue. Let us start our practice. Eyes are closed.